Hey all, this is Synosis. Today we are doing some more Brotato. I realized that tier 2 of the Brotato videos should have been called Skilled. And tier 3 is actually what combat is, which is going to be these videos. And so that's why we need to go back and rename those videos kinda. And stuff that. Anyway, here's the progress. So you can see we still have quite a few characters left. We already have Platinum Trophy because it's actually quite weird that there's a lot of characters that don't have trophies for them. You might say that, oh, the characters that have trophies for them makes perfect sense and stuff like that. So we still need to do a run or finish a run with Sick. We need to finish a run with Entrepreneur, Hunter, Artificer, Streamer, Yak, Apprentice, One-Armed, which I was very, very close to finishing at one point, but then I did a mistake of taking the particle accelerator and stuff that, which completely ruined things. That I believe I had 200% attack speed or whatever at that point, but it was just really, really bad. Then we have the Match Assist, and those are the only ones I have left. And I believe that the DLC characters starts with Build, right? That is the first one of the DLC characters, right? The Builder, Chef, Captain, Creature, Curious, Diver, Druid, Dwarf, Gangster, Hiker, Buccaneer, Ogre, Romantic, and Sailor, I believe, are all the quote-unquote DLC characters. Right, starting with Builder. Because I'm pretty certain a Vampire counts as just part of another update. There were 3 characters that were part of a certain update, right? Because there was an update that added a co-op, I believe it was. And that update had Baby in it. It had Vampire, I believe. Baby, Vampire, and there was another class. I forgot which class it was. Because I know that there are 2 trophies that are actually named wrong. There are 2 trophies that say, oh, do a clear with demon and stuff that, which is actually untrue and stuff that. But yeah, so I'm running with the 25% still there. But I'm going to turn off the explosion opacity again. I need to actually turn that down for a single run, but I actually forgot to turn it back afterwards, because you can get the explosion to a ridiculous level with certain characters and stuff that, and then it just flashes so much on the screen and stuff that. Keep in mind that 100% on enemy speed is still the default speed and stuff that, but yeah. So you can see here, we're running actually the Abyss instead of running the Crash Zone. And if you see here, for example, oops, let me just show you here, for example, if I change the Crash Zone, you can see those are characters that clear the Crash Zone. And of course, gold means that it has the whole, Daemia 5 clear, stuff that, so, that is how things are. So the Abyss is that, Crash Zone is just that, boom. But yeah, now, of course, the thing though is that the stage is not different. I don't think it's different in size or anything. But for example, the what do you call it, the thing changes, the enemies changes and stuff like that. Yeah. So Sick is left, so that he gains a lot of health, gains more lifesteal. Yeah, you take 1 per second, and you do not give invulnerability time. So that means that the invulnerable thing that gives you invulnerability isn't gonna work. You're just gonna ruin those immediately, those things. So that seems to be that the way you're gonna get health back is gonna be through lifesteal. With the Sick character, it actually doesn't seem to be that bad of a weakness, depending on what you can start with. So you have a 25% lifesteal, that used to fix everything, but you can see medical weapons always have more on them, lifesteal wise. So with Scissors you gain 65. Keep in mind, right, that if you see, for example, the range there on the melee weapons, not all melee weapons have the same. Headset only has 125 range, for example. 200 range on the character club. That's really what makes the character club so very, very good. So that, okay, so 1 lifesteal if you're missing more health with a sharp tooth. And that actually scales via lifesteal. That's melee damage scaling and lifesteal damage scaling. Yeah, so you can see what it scales with. Psyche, for example, scales with melee damage and harvesting. We have actually a Scepter here, which actually would be pretty funny. We have, of course, the medical, the gun, which has a pretty decent cooldown on it. forgot how many medical weapons there are because there are way more than just the scissors and the medical gun. Stuff that, man, but I would. And I know the Ghost Scepter is used so powerful all the time and stuff that, you know. So let's just go with the Ghost Scepter, just, you know, because, you know, let's just make the first run something that maybe ends up being easy, hopefully. But yeah, maybe we don't attack fast enough with this. Like, do we have any negative, like, attack speed? No, we don't not. What was attack speed by default? It is almost a second of, like, attack speed and stuff that, so yeah, so we need, like, we will need things very quickly if we're not caught going to die and stuff that with sick. So yeah, so first off you just aggressively go for the Ghost Scepters immediately. So can we have one more shot? Nope. I might say just having the same weapon can be really bad in this situation, of course, and stuff like that. So by the way, this would be tier 2, which would be combat, and the tier 2 videos I'm going to need to change and call them like skilled. This is supposed to be what tier 2 is. But yeah, I don't know if the volume is high enough though. Let me check something else here. So expansion and no poison, that is like that. And then generally still that, yeah. Visual effects, because I tried at one point to like not have the visual effects on to see if it was that caused the screen flash. But the visual effects isn't really the thing that can cause the screen to flash. It's often like the explosion weapons that can really cause it flash. And that is of course if you have like a shit ton of explosive weapons and then you just shoot very quickly with them. That's when it can happen. So yeah. 25% of music masters, 50%, and then sound is 75%. Yeah. Although, of course, yes, we only have like 25% lifesteal, which isn't super great, because if you look at lifestealing, what it says, for example, your attacks have a 25% chance to heal you for 1 HP, max 10 HP per second, meaning, for example, you need to have like very high lifesteal for the lifesteal to start healing you like several like HP per second, and stuff like that, right? It depends, of course, on like several things. Oh, there's a... done. Yeah, healing via consumables I feel are also going to be important. Xaero is going to make things easier there. Elemental damage we don't benefit from right away, but luck is going to be good here. I would love to take that, but we need to go aggressively for the weapons still. So there's a Ghost Scepter, we lock that. Okay, but we are able to get 5 out of 6 then. Because keep in mind that sometimes you might be way too quick with like, you know, locking stuff and stuff that, you know, sometimes you can just be too quick with it and stuff that, you know. Yes, you don't need super high damage at the start and stuff that, you know, but you often want to try and be very aggressive with things and stuff like that, but yeah. At that point, harvesting, yes. We got the Ghost Scepter here. Ghost Scepter. Lock the Scar. Now the Ghost Scepter, that's very good. Yes, if you can get XP increase early on, that's going to be very useful as well, because the level ups are going to be very important, by the way. Yeah. Well, the best thing is, of course, if you get the mirror early on, because the mirror will use like pull in everything and stuff like that. So if you have ranged weapons and you kill enemies really far away, you still get the stuff. Oh. See, the stick character is, of course, pretty scary, depending on the amount of lifesteal, but also depends on your amount of health, of course, obviously. Speed is nice. We do have -5 armor for some reason. It's more armor. Why do we have -5 armor? Oh right, because of the ethereal thing. That must give us -5 armor. So we get that. We get this even though it's expensive. Oh man, we can already get that curse thing here. Yes. Yes. Let's lock both of these. Actually getting that early is I mean it's just +1 curse, but it's still, you know, like 7% dodge. We get a bit of extra dodge. And the dodge is still gonna be the default value, right, of 60%. That is gonna be the maximum, yeah. And we got some decent amount of dodge with that, you know, so that's gonna be useful. I think, though, we haven't seen any single attack speed yet, but you can see, for example, the blue ones have 0.93 instead, you know, stuff there, but yeah. But definitely with the Ghost Spectre, because more attack speed on Ghost Scepters is like, you know, like Ghost Scepter benefits a lot from attack speed. Like certain weapons benefits more from attack speed than others, of course. But I think to realize with Ghost Scepters, of course, since they quote-unquote give us more like max health and stuff that, you know, when they get a certain amount of kills, of course. And that's the thing also that that's like 1 max HP for every 20 enemies, and then 18, so on and so forth. Then of course when you curse them, that's when you can get down to like really low amount of kills that you need. And that's also why it works really well with, for example, the Gentle Alien and stuff that. That's gonna be worth. Ooh, 3% lifesteal low. Yes. 15 luck, yes. Blue Ghost Scepter, yes. Tentacle, yes. That, yes. Yes, we already have a purple one. And right on the crit is also pretty decent on it as well. So we definitely want to have some crit chance as well. Probably. And yeah, our levels aren't that great. That's actually a big problem right now. Yes, I do think the chests here look so much better than on the original thing. And I feel like with these enemies, like things are like often easier and stuff there with these enemies, because I feel these bosses aren't like the old bull, like a lot of bosses aren't the whole bullshit of ring you around in a circle and then you cannot move or whatever, right? A lot of times. I am aggressively going for these just to get more curse as quickly as possible. Especially if we get lucky, for example, we find a black flag really early on. So that, which will be really good. Yeah, that's just because we don't benefit from HP regen. And that's going to be good if we eventually go to melee weapons as well. You know, we don't need the speed up. I think we want to have the range. Ooh. Yeah, Whistle is good because that just makes the root alien appear more often. You know, that decreases armor by 1, but yeah. Look at that, maybe. I don't know really if we're doing the correct things here, because at this point I would have had like to have more weapons combined at this point and stuff that, you know, but yeah. We have a 30% crit chance though now. It's pretty decent, of course. So yeah. So that's a Whale Rust. Whale Rusts do, of course, do quite a lot of damage. Yeah, the problem is that we don't really have the damage. We haven't gone for any damage percent, so we don't have like 0 in the damage percent, which can be really bad. But of course, for example, if you had like higher attack speed, then this would be no problem at all, right? You know, this amount of enemies. You know, that is why, for example, going for Gentle Alien right now would like be probably suicidal, right? Because Gentle Alien does add more enemies. Even though it's very little, right? It's like 5% more enemies. Yeah, we don't need HP regen, that's always worthless. 9% dodge though. Just 12% damage. The kick is just simple there. It's just a simple choice. So get the range as well. Lure. Yes. You know, that thing, nah, that's not gonna be worth it. And sometimes actually combining, for example, to have several of the ghost weapons, for example, like having like ghost flint and having like the ghost axe can also be like be really good and stuff that, right? If you want to like try and like have several stats go up and stuff that, you know. Right, and I don't think we have even seen attack speed yet because I don't want to like roll for attack speed and stuff that, you know. As good as 2 treasure chests already this way. Stuff that, you know, so yeah. What's our lifesteal at? Our lifesteal is at 28, which isn't that great really, to be honest. Like we started with 30, right? Now we started with 25% lifesteal, so we have slightly more than. Come on, get it. But the wizard, you can actually curse that to make it even better and stuff like that, because yeah, it was be for the dailies, of course, but yeah. Yeah, max HP regeneration we don't really care about. That can still give me 5% speed though. Yes. Yeah. Killing enemy with a critical hit, so you need crit with that. Ooh, 8% damage. Let's just get all of those. Ooh, the exploded Reno thing. I think I'm stopping for things here that I would normally not stop from at all. There's another gossip there. Oh, because I think our weapons are still like lacking at this point. Now we have 31% damage though. Yeah, because that's just, you know, the damage percentage, by the way, affects everything, right? It's something you need to keep in mind. You know, crit chance is only 16 and stuff like that, which is not great. But we need to have like way more crit chance and stuff like that, right? Like the hunting trophy gets really good. The good thing about the hunting trophies, you can get 3 of them, so you can then have like a 99% chance to gain 1 material when you kill with a critical hit. You know what I'm saying? Harvesting is of course still going to be important and stuff that we only have very little harvesting. I see this is an issue just that we are attacking slowly. We still haven't seen attack speed once actually even show up and stuff like that, and then like if you need to waste a bunch of rerolls for it, then that's gonna feel really, really bad. Can we get our chest, please? We don't need a chest. See, it shows up the thief dagger icon there and stuff that just because, you know, things, you know, we might not stick with the ghost scepters we will see, you know, stuff that, right? It depends on how completely what shows up. More damage, but that's less attack speed, so we don't go for that yet until we have more attack speed, of course. It's actually really bad, so let's reroll that. Armor. Yes, yes, yes. Reroll. That's actually really good, both of those. Yeah, 3 max HP consumables have 33% chance to explode for 120, and that scales 100% with your health. Basically, with max health, it's not HP generation, it's specifically max health. Meaning, if you have things that use raise your max health, then that's really good. Also, the Pearl, by the way, the Pearl is absolutely insane because the Pearl does not have a limit to how many you can get of the Pearl. Meaning, for example, as long as you have like a good amount of luck. If you have like farmed for like, for example, and you have a like very, very high luck stat, then you can literally almost keep ahead of the scaling just from getting lucky with the amount of pearls you get. And of course, with more luck, I feel like you're a lot more likely to get a lot of pearls, you know, and stuff like that, you know, so it also is very beneficial. But the belly is of course like really, really useful there, but you see we are already having problems at this point. But we shouldn't really be having. We would have gotten lucky with, you know, certain things. One of the things saving us really is the fact that we have decent amount of HP and that we have some combat is with only -1 on armor. Now you show up. Okay, lifesteal. Okay, sauce. Get that, get that. Yeah, I think I shouldn't have gone for these many items and stuff like that, right? But you know, so now we have 15% attack speed. So yeah, because we gained attack speed from that as well. So, because yeah, it's a bit of a problem if already this boss becomes hard or takes a while to kill, because it really shouldn't. Because it's actually fairly easy. Even though it likes to look like the nightmare boss in like Metro Fusion, like because it has like a open thing or whatever, right? You know. Get my first, please. Yes, thank you. We really need him to die, but he's getting like like the shots are getting blocked. So that which is why the piercing is going to be important as well. We're not going to kill it. We're not going to kill the boss here at all. Sadly, because we really want to. If we really want to get a lot of, you know, materials. Nah, it's it's not going to be useful at all. Just 2% more damage, so yes. Yeah, that's more damage, more lifesteal. And the jousting lance though, but our speed stat is pretty low still. I know how good the jousting lances are, by the way, because I actually figured out that like a long time ago and stuff that you can do some pretty busted stuff with the jousting lances. But the funny thing is I actually did have a run where I got to ridiculous speed amounts, like I think it was over 700 at least, maybe it was even 900 or so speed, whatever. And that was because the axolotl showed up, and the axolotl took a stat, and I forgot if it was the damage percentage stat it took, had like something like 700 or 900% damage, which is fairly easy to get, you know, to Gorre. So yeah, you know. Get that as well, thank you. Can we get the 3 please? Thank you. Yeah, having the garden is also very good, for example, if you get a bunch of the lemonades, for example. Yes. 3% crit. Again, that's lifesteal. We don't care about the regen from that. There's the gecko, there's max health. There's dodge if we need to. Nah, that will reduce our armor a bit more. I think I'm going way too aggressive with items. Like we should have had like way better weapons at this point. Like, because if you use the ignore your weapons too much, then that's going to be really bad and stuff that, you know. And we could open it. This is just like one of those mass waves that used to have like a bunch of weaker enemies, because then we might actually be able to get a bunch of cash, you know, really. There's a chest so far. That's decent, I feel like. Yeah, this wave is actually very useful here, it seems like, so far. Can we get a bit more lucky here, please? Because I feel like we're getting pretty decent here with the... Just more of the chest. There's a chest, get him. No, damn it. Okay, ranged damage and attack speed, yes, even though it's less damage percent. Yes. 10% attack speed, we don't say no to that. Get that, we get that. Come on, goldfish. Plus AP animation. So I mean the guy does give a bunch of HP variation, so we can get that out of the way. Yes. Yes. I just feel we want all of those actually. And obviously now with like 35% attack speed all of a sudden, like yeah, our damage is only like we only have 50% more damage, but now you see all of a sudden we're like dealing with things and stuff that, you know. I forgot how much piercing we have. I have 0 piercing actually. But yeah. So, you know, we're doing pretty decently. I don't know why it has gotten so hot again. It feels like we're getting this heat that is very, very annoying to get, like when it's like very, you know, it feels hotter than it should be and stuff that, like the temperature isn't that hot, but it still feels like very, very hot and stuff that, you know, and the night isn't getting as cold as it was for a while. We had some really, really cold nights for a while, which was very, very nice to be able to like have like the window open and stuff that, and have it like be really, really, you know, chill. Range damage though. 7% crit though. Just get that. I know that we're really ignoring the weapons, but you know what things did we get again? We did get that, the med kit, which is a big deal, even though it decreases our luck. This boss we're gonna have no problem really to kill, I feel like, you know. Now we start running away a little bit. Come on. So daddy, what does he do? Here we go, nice. That's a red chest, which is very, very nice. So crit chance is 29%, that's pretty decent. So many enemies. We get another. Maybe we can get another chest, maybe. It's good. The anvil, man. Yes, armor, so now we have positive armor. At that. 5% speed though, but we lose the crit. This isn't alien. Oh man. That increases enemy damage. Like this can be absolutely suicidal sometimes if you take this. Because that would mean we could give them 55% more damage. But that's just so much XP gain. But that depends on what wave next. Man, 17 is the fucking boss wave though, man. It is the fucking boss wave though. That could be absolutely suicidal. We'll see, maybe we can like, maybe it definitely depends on okay what shows up during this wave and stuff that, like, can we get super lucky during this wave, you know, and stuff that, you know. Can we like maybe get like a bunch of treasure chests, like could we get the correct items, right? Because now that we have the anvil, of course, see it upgraded one of the scepters to the red level and stuff that, which is 1 max HP every like 12 kills. Whatever, which is a whole lot less, you know, and stuff that's right, but you know. Because that means that now looking for the weapons aren't as important and stuff that, because we got the anvil and stuff that, you know. Go for that. Go for this. Kill this, please. Lifesteal. Great. 2% attack speed, 2% speed for when you take damage. Okay, so yes, so that's increase our speed. We can get the fucking... Fuck, we can get the fucking Trainee launcher here. Okay, now let's see if this was completely suicidal for us. Because we have no minus on the range damage though. And that has pretty... I know how good the Trainee launchers can be. I know that Trainee launcher isn't the best explosive weapon, but we did get the thing, of course, so our XP gain is good. But like enemies are like, you know, like what is it, like 50% more damage. So enemies are going to be dealing 50% more damage. Sadly, it doesn't show up here or anything here. It doesn't say like, oh, these are enemy damage or whatever, right? You know. Yeah. Of course, as I said, now we have like 170% like XP, and that's just also like 100% XP gain during the next wave. You also gain enough 25% XP gain, so that 100% is only for the next wave, but it also gives you a 25% thing that is permanent. That one is not only for the wave and stuff. That 25% is actually permanent though, which makes it a really good XP increasing item and stuff that, right? Yeah, sure, we take a big risk and stuff that, you know, if we would be taking a bunch of damage here, so, you know. Really want to make sure that we kill that big enemy. Kill him. Yes, thank you. And keep in mind, I believe that the weapons that the anvil upgrades, right, is specifically weapons that you have equipped, right? A random weapon is upgraded when entering a shop. If you have no weapon to upgrade, you gain 2+ armor instead. Yeah, you could have gotten a cursed anvil. I had like one anvil that was like... I forgot it actually did give you armor also as well, that anvil or whatever, right? Just from taking it or something, like it gave me like 6 or like 8 armor or something like that. Like a cursed one I got at 1 point and stuff there, but yeah, you cannot get more of the anvil because the anvil counts as unique. Okay, that wasn't so bad at all. Yeah. Crit chance, yes. Oh, that's your highest max HP. So that will give me a shit ton of armor, but positive stats. So I get 217 armor. Is that just fucking suicidal? Right, so we want to do that. Probably. Don't lock that. Lock that. 50% pickup range, 7% dose, using low picking up the consumable. Yes. That's the okay. Okay, we might just... I'm fucking dumb. I fucking take damage over time. No. They didn't spawn yet. Yeah, good work, Axelot. Good work. I just completely forgot. Yeah, let's just restart the run, because I feel like if we select the restart, then it's like, you know... Actually, let's try it with another weapon, because I didn't really want to have to like rely on Ghost Scepters anyway, so, you know. Let's actually do something more fun. Flint now. Actually, that is that type of damage. Because that is elemental, that gains bonus from element, and that has burning effect. No more weapons here that has burning effect or scale via elemental. That does get scale via lifesteal. So let's go for the lightning shield for now. Also lightning projectile, okay. And deals by 5 damage. So right, this is not what the build is supposed to be here. So now keep in mind, of course, this could end up being way more scary. Just because of the fact that now we don't have like the HP scaling thing. But this weapon does have like a very good use for, like, this is way better against groups. So we need the correct things here. So attack speed, boom, just immediately, good. Oh man, elephant is actually very good seeing that early on. That is fine though. What I actually really like. Because the thing I would really want from a build like this would actually not be the lightning shifts itself. Those are actually not going to be our main weapons if a certain thing shows up. And I would really love to just take the toxic sludge right now, but no. We're rolling just aggressively for the thing. Oh man, there's another thing down that can provide elemental damage, so we lock the torch. Because the thing that I want from this is specifically the fire, or the fact that you see that the fire symbol means that it stacks via elemental damage. Meaning, for example, of like getting things that increases our elemental damage is going to be good. There are some very specific like items I would want. Stuff that, so keep that in mind. Okay, it's a crit. We can get that, we can get the lightning shield. Charge is actually really good early on though. There's a torch. So we're gonna have 2 torches and we're gonna have 3 of the lightning, and that's still elemental, good. Because that's of course is melee. This is melee as well. This is slightly more range and stuff like that, because yeah. The thing is though, for example, like certain of the elemental weapons aren't super good or whatever, right? And for example, getting consumable heal, for example, to let the consumables heal for more is going to be very important. And yes, attack speed is going to be very important as well. But yeah, the main problem is that doing this character without attack speed is actually pretty scary. Not gonna lie, you know. So that because our raw HP pool is like really low and stuff that, you know. I mean, if we take certain things that's going to be really dangerous and stuff that, you know. 6 max HP, we just take that. 1% more life steal, that's not much. Can we afford that? Yes. So lock the scar. There's another torch. So the thing is, these aren't really the elemental weapons we want to be using and stuff that. Like, I know exactly which ones I want, because they count as being like elemental and stuff that. Now there are like a lot of different weird like elemental weapons, like a taser for example is elemental, and for some reason taser is fire and stuff that, but that is just a bit weird, you know, and stuff that, you know. Yeah, there's no way we're gonna reset guy in time here. We did get the chest though here. Okay, let's use 3. Let's use this. Yeah. We have elemental damage. This is also elemental damage, so these have the old explosive thing, an explosive blank basically. Now, no. Even though I would really want to have like more max health. Torch, nice. Yeah, so that's actually very, very good that we already got the torches at this point. So yeah, the torches deals, as you can see, this still scales with melee damage as well, but and this scales with melee damage, but secondary effect scales with the thing. By the way, and I believe the bounce effect also from the lightning shifts actually becomes stronger the more of them you have. But the thing that I want to really have show up early here is going to be the flamethrower, because I usually love the flamethrower as a weapon. Like, the main problem is, of course, that the flamethrower is really, really close. You need to get really, really close to enemies. But then, for example, if you start getting a bunch of range, for example, on the flamethrower, then the flamethrower gets really good, because the flamethrower actually attacks very, very quickly and stuff that. Like, the flamethrower doesn't need super high attack speed to be good. So that's max speed, 15% attack speed. Yes. Maybe go for more range. Blue lightning ship. Yes. Because yeah, sometimes I just feel like I changed actually how I play. Like like I would have never taken the axolotl before, because I would have thinking about it, right? But I don't really think in runs I use like do them or whatever. I use automatically know what I need to be picking and stuff there to not like die for the most part, you know. Sometimes I do stupid decisions, of course, like the particular accelerator, for example. I didn't check its attack speed. Even with 20% attack speed, it still was like very, very slow when I used that on the one-arm bandit. And here's the thing, that the weapon I had before was maybe not the greatest weapon, but it still had no problem dealing with the enemies and stuff that, you know. Yes. Attack speed. Yes. Do we go crit chance here? 30% crit chance. We have no harvesting. No max health. And we get... Right, because... Little muscly dude, you're pretty damn good. But you reduce my maximum range though, man, that's... Another torch though. You will actually go more into the torches though than go into the lightning shield. But that actually makes it bounce more. But we need to think about the fact that the butterfly, for example, decrease our elemental damage. Yes, get that. Burning activates faster. Okay. Now this is actually pretty good. Now, the alien eyes though, again, is something that scales. We have maximum health. There are a few like what I would call is pet items. Like, I wonder if that means that we could get like a necromancer or something like that. Of course, the necromancer wouldn't be like, oh, I'm summoning like zombies or, you know, something like that. But instead, it would be like, oh, you start with maybe like you start with the baby elephant, you know, and stuff like that, you know. I mean, if you would start with a Tyler, that would be pretty insane. But yeah, you know. Because there's a bunch of stuff like that do certain things right, you know, like the alien eyes, for example, and stuff. Like all of these are like what I would call like pet items, even though they aren't technically a pet and stuff. But yeah, you know. 20 plus luck though. Oh, but we can get more elemental damage there. So burning activate fast, boom. And then shoot 6 alien eyes around you every 3 seconds, dealing blah blah blah. You can see that that's dependent on max health. Yeah, the rock is actually very good, by the way, because it gives you armor and max HP as a thing. Here's the thing that we're talking about, lemonades that we really want. That's actually small fish is such a big damage increase though. Even though it's so about attack speed. The question is, right, before we get the other blue dagger, do we just combine these two so that all of our daggers are blue, or do we go for having one purple dagger, stuff that, And the good thing about this combination, we have like the lightning that can like help deal with like groups of enemies, and then we have like the other fire damage because they burn over time. We don't have a scared sausage yet though, but we do have that snake, also like spreads burning and stuff that, to more enemies. Also the scale, the snake doesn't have a limit to it. Eye surgery does have a limit to it, but yeah, and burning activates 20% fast, so yeah. Of course, if we could, for example, get an early fish hook, for example, or if we would see like a scared sausage, for example, already be cursed and stuff like that, but that would be absolutely insane if that would be the case, but yeah. Recycle that. Ooh, 81 range, yes. 8% speed. Lifesteal, boom. So yes, we combine those. Get a blue one, get this one, get this one. 4+ elemental damage, don't mind if I do eventually. No, not cake. Here's the thing though, the recycling machine is not that great. It is great, of course, if it gets like high enough, like on the thing. High enough on the thing, yeah, that's a good explanation. If we get high enough on the thing, then it does good stuff. Oh, but I mean, like 35% is actually pretty bad and stuff that, it's not the greatest and stuff that, and we have actually negative harvesting. The fact that we haven't seen a single flamethrower yet is a bit. That doesn't mean that we immediately are just gonna get a flamethrower, and stuff that, What's our? We only have 10 curse. It's not that great. I haven't really gotten any luck. I mean, I feel like this is really good barnacle. But the thing is, like, for example, if the barnacle is cursed, for example, like I had one barnacle once. I think it had like 60% stat increase or whatever, right? And then, for example, like certain stats would just be absolutely insane with what they can give you. But I feel like, wait, is it percentage? That is just the percentage of how good the stats can be. But I feel like it doesn't always kick in, right? Like there seems to be certain stats that aren't higher at all than what it should be. Whatever. Okay, 12% speed is really good. Can lock that, probably. I mean, I would love that. No. Just a spoon. I mean, I always quit when hitting burning targets, and that scares me health. Fin, we're not gonna say no to the fin though. Right. Yeah, so at blue it hits 2 times, and then that deals 5 times 22 burning damage with the torch. And yeah. I mean, I know that elemental builds work, but there are like better characters for like doing the elemental builds and stuff there, but yeah. But it's just, I feel like there's a lot of things, still characters that they could add, right? Because if you see what, like the thing that I feel can be improved a lot is of course that yes, you can understand, right? If they make you start with certain starting weapons, then they would need to have something really negative about them in order to be like balanced or whatever, right? But I feel like the thing is, the game doesn't need to be balanced because the game is like an offline game and stuff that like who cares if there is a character that is ridiculously fucking powerful and that can just fucking destroy stuff, and stuff that like if there are weapons that are like really fun to start with and stuff that, I do find it's very weird on the king, for example. Yes, the king. For example, if you use 2 low tier items on the king, then you receive negative bonuses. But for example, once you reach tier 4 items, basically, all tier 4 items give you like more stats, whatever it is. I think it's for each unique tier 4 item or whatever it is. Like it doesn't stack with having multiply of something. So do we go 60% dodge or do we go 4 plus elemental here? No, we go 4 plus elemental. 10% attack speed. Get that. 2 more loot aliens, get that. Range damage, I mean technically. Go with that though, we go with that. Don't go with scope yet. Although I mean, and if the flamethrower was gonna show up there, I was gonna get really, really mad. If the flamethrower was gonna show up. We have a knockback, by the way. We do have some knockbacks here. Elite will appear on wave 12. As you can see, yes, we have a lot less health now, but we have like 0 armor and stuff like that, so keep that in mind. And the barnacle, of course, the good thing is that it will keep adding 1 curse every single wave. So that basically, since we got the barnacle, stuff like that, but yeah. Because it is crazy to see like if you have seen someone using like mods and stuff that the game, like how much is missing in the default game because sometimes it's really hard to calculate, okay, like how much damage that this give you. For example, if you know that this scales via speed, so like how good is the speed stat, like how much damage is it comparable to, right? You know, like this 10% speed, like how much damage is it actually, you know, stuff that, you know. Because I mean, if they show you too many stats, that also makes things, that also makes making the decision easier. For example, as well, 5% speed of course is very good. But the reduce our crit, the crit aren't high enough. Let's go for that actually. Percent damage, max health, dodge, and a free reroll. Yes, please. We lock those. Corrupted charge, yes. Other gay doesn't really matter. So, oh no, scheiße. I'm right. Yes, we can count to 3, we know. And then there was like a thing, like an old German thing. I don't know if it was part of a song or whatever, right? But it was like an anti-police thing, whatever, right? It was sort of like ein, zwei, drei, Polizwein, and then yeah, because like police swine basically, stuff like that. Whatever. It was an old thing, like a long time ago. Quite so many chests. All of a sudden, our damage fits absolutely crazy now. What's our elemental damage? Yeah, we have 21 elemental damage. Like, not super spy or anything, but yeah. And if we... Right, but we were cracked because... Didn't we just pick up the Peachcock? Is this the wave then? No, because we only have 70% XP gain. If this is 100% or in the next wave, then... It was the previous wave, of course, then. Come on, we want a lot of... things. Give it to me. Okay. Ooh, that's a spider. That's one of the new items and stuff that I got for clearing with one character. 10% damage. Every different weapon you have, okay. So we need to really... We have so many... Huh? Ooh, right, for every, because we have only 2 different weapons. Road. A mirror could be absolutely insane at this point. 9% crit. Double fish hook. Be elefante. Okay, another fin. Wheat. Okay, that decreases elemental damage though. Oh yes, jellies, yes. So what item do we start going for then? Because right here is the simple thing, right? There are enough elemental weapons that we can use go for one of each of the elemental weapons, right? But then, right, what I would feel like we would do instead of just recycling stuff, right? Instead of us recycling the stuff that we have, right? Instead, we should just combine them up into the strongest variant or whatever we can, you know, instead of that, you know. But that is, of course, if we see the other elemental weapons. Because I'm only going to be doing it once we actually see the other elemental weapons and not like do it right away and just hope for the elemental weapons to show up or whatever, you know. This is wave 13. Right, and the purple dagger has 3 times rectal bounce. And that bounce is actually like super useful, right? Because it's just that you get a bounce for free, that you don't even need to find a bounce item, right, and stuff like that. Like, that is just such a big deal. Like, you just feel like that weapon is just so supportive to like other weapons and stuff like that. And Gorre sure it helps that we have several of them. 10% attack speed, yes. 40. You know how crazy that is. That's got trust as well. It is absolutely insane. And there's more like burning spread. So we combine those, boom boom. We get, yeah, red one. Do we just recycle those two? No, we don't. This might be an issue here. So with the red one, we do get 4 brown bounces, and that is 6 times 36 damage, burning damage, and that spreads, of course, as well. So yeah, it might have just been suicidal too, because now we have way less weapons. But we take a lot of damage from that guy. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Yeah, we might actually end up dying just because we did that one dumb mistake, because that is the guy that is really annoying to have to deal with sometimes. We are quick though. We are very quick, but I feel like also when certain bosses are up, the trees tend to spawn less. Whatever, but we don't even have the 3 item or whatever, right? And I would love to kill the boss if we can. Maybe. Yeah, I think we can actually kill him if we just do a little bit of this. Yeah, there we go, nice. There are some big, like... Okay, that wasn't the greatest. Ooh. But that requires maximum health though. So that's the thing. And then spread the burning a bit more. Reroll. No, that's good. I mean, the slingshot is good, you know, but you know what I mean. So this is going to be 8% elemental damage, 5% crit chance, weapon damage, additional skill with 10% elemental damage, and burning activates slower. But then, of course, if we can get more of the thing, what is it? Yeah, burning activates 20% faster. You need to get 2 of those to kind of counteract the thing. As well, so yeah. We'll see how scared will this get. This is wave 15, so now it's not the boss wave. And of course, the frozen heart, I know how good that is and stuff like that, especially if you get weapons that scale for more than just elemental damage. But the weapons that already scale with elemental damage, for example, torch scales. Oh, the scaling goes up. The rarity, that is 80% for melee and that. So that one scales 80% for melee damage. Yeah, the lightning shield does not change here from the purple and the black tier 4 one. But since it specifically says tier 4, does that mean that they have like plans on eventually making like, oh, yeah, things go to tier 5 and stuff like that, you know? No. Like, you know, probably not any time in the day, in the close future or whatever, right? Because, you know, the curse mechanic is fun and everything, but then it's just, it is very, very much like a slot machine, almost like a thing with what it feels like.